When last we left our fearless explorers, we were running. We had been running away the entire previous session, and now we're going to continue running away. We're fearless. Anyway.
Brave.
Well, it was runaway time.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It was, this had was spiraled way out of control. We had no idea what was going on. It was time to
There's
leave.
cute cat creatures and cute squid creatures
Yep.
and or shrimp creatures.
Shrimp creatures, yes.
Yeah.
No one knows there's a cute squid creature involved.
That's right.
And the cute shrimps want to leave. It's not exactly cat, but the closest thing is like the mog. It looks more like a mogwai than anything. But those guys, he wants to stay to see if he can find his family who have been relocated. Yeah, and we're trying to find Gorbon's ship, who's like the guy who looks like a proboscis monkey, although apparently he's like the size of an ape. He's quite large.
He's huge.
Because he is like sent his message saying, "Hey guys, you can come with us," or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And we're like, okay, that's better than dying because our ship is
Who knows what our ship's condition is?
supposedly our ship has been either destroyed, dismantled, or sabotaged.
Thank you.
Yeah. And even if it hasn't, we don't trust the people that said that they were working on it.
Yeah.
We saw what happened in Cloud City.
So we're running away, and we just passed up going into a control room where we would have learned out lots of information.
Yeah, who is responsible for that?
Pill.
I did a check to see whether it was relevant information. It didn't look like a room filled with relevant information.
To Pill.
So it would distract us from the running.
Right.
So I didn't mention it.
Bird.
So,
Because we were busy running.
And right after that, a human woman had come up to us and said, "Hey, I don't see if I can do the accent. Hey, can you take me with you?"
That's Irish.
Is it? I thought that was a pretty good Kansas accent.
I caught Australian from that.
Robin's better with accents than me.
Yeah. She
Anyway,
was doing a very southern belle sort of.
Hey y'all, can you take me with you?
yeah, with
like
the southern
that.
accent, though. For some reason, it really stuck out as a Kansas accent to me. I don't know why, but anyway,
Yeah.
she, her name was Kay, and so that's where we started.
Yeah.
We decided, sure, basically there was a brief exchange where we decided, well, you can come with us, at least in the sense that we're running, you run with us, and we can talk about what the heck's going on while we run together.
Yeah.
We don't have a problem with you running with us.
Yeah.
So we had kind of like, I guess, we weren't exactly running as much as walking quickly so we could discuss things. And we talked with her. There was some suspicion about her because really there shouldn't be humans here.
Right.
I can't remember who it was that figured it out.
Somebody had complimented you guys about your human costumes.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Everyone was scanning her. Yoon scanned her to determine if she was human. She didn't show as human, but you couldn't figure out what she was.
Yeah.
But they had a discussion with her, accusing her of not being human, blah, blah, blah. But she completely believed that she was human. Or maybe that's why I thought of Kansas. She was from Kansas.
Yeah.
And she had been kidnapped by these aliens. But some of her story didn't quite match because, well...
Like she said she was from Kansas, and then Yoon said, but Kansas was destroyed by a meteor in 2030, whatever. And then we pulled a Gil undertow, because we didn't know whether that was actually true or not. So we had her choose whether she was doing like a knowledge history or a bluff check, and pick one or the other, and then roll. And if you succeed, that'll tell whether it's fake or whether it's a lie, actually what happened. And now I can't remember whether Kansas was destroyed or not.
I
think it was.
It was decided. Yeah, I guess Kansas was destroyed some years ago by a meteor.
Yeah.
Apparently.
I think that we established that.
But and it didn't quite work with her story because she thought she'd only been kidnapped a couple of years ago, but then maybe she was frozen or whatever. But it didn't really make sense. But she completely believed it.
Yeah.
We established that she completely believed it. So she believes the story she's telling us, that she's from Kansas and was kidnapped and wants to escape with us. And we're like, well, so far there doesn't seem any sign like that it would be bad to take you with us. So okay, fine. I don't know. And at least we don't have to decide till we get to the ship anyway. So unless she's gonna like betray us. But I mean, we've already got like a whole cluster of
weird
aliens that might betray us, and we don't know. So
You've got a menagerie.
Who was it that brought up the subject of like? Oh, I think Pill was like, we shouldn't bring an alien infiltrator with us. It's clearly an alien infiltrator disguised as a human. We shouldn't bring that with us.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the crew started asking Pill, well, what do you think the goals of an alien infiltrator would be?
We're supposed to find that out from Pill, and I saw it as a good opportunity to let's try to interrogate Pill.
It was perfect. It was great. So they like Pill said, speculated that perhaps it would be here to research things. It's a researcher that's trying to, use you to discover information. Can't have that. That's wrong. Yeah. Oh yes, and we also found out Ricardo Pill has a middle name because she had a middle name. I can't remember what it was, and so everyone's like, Ricardo, what's your middle name? And so it's like a space. So now it's Ricardo a space Pill.
A space.
A space. I've written that on my character sheet. Ricardo a space Pill.
Is it actually a space, or is it spelled out?
I just
A
wrote
dash
out
space.
a space
Okay.
in that word. Yeah. But yes.
So we go into the next room full of weird art, and there's a completely lifelike statue that we discover is like a waxwork statue that looks exactly like Dr. Yoon, except she's wearing this really, really beautiful traditional Korean dress, and Dr. Yoon is Korean, so
So both Yoon and Anpele were both like, I want that dress, I want those shoes.
Well, Anpele is barefoot, and she's been running around barefoot this whole time in this ripped dress so that she can run. And so she wants shoes because Robin keeps asking her, or she's actually about to get a consequence because her feet are sore from running around barefoot.
Yeah.
So she wants the shoes off the thing.
So we assault this wax statue and steal its shoes.
Yeah. Though first, before we were talking about that, but then the spheres warn us that, you guys, you better show you something. And we realize that like the bad guys are almost upon us. And so another thing that's in this room is Robin has a picture of those giant shoes by Southgate, and she said they're like those, but they're like even 5 times bigger. They're these huge legs, stocking legs shoes, and they're hollow. So we go and hide inside them. And we hide inside them and watch the relay feed from the sphere that we left behind or whatever of like all the stuff that Suseran guards are doing, and it shows them like, interviewing the lady in the pool that Flint Daniels seduced. It shows them interviewing the guy whose room we snuck through that I forgot to mention last time because
we just snuck through his room.
That's all that ended up happening. Apparently it could have been a really bad combat, but instead we just got away. And shows them getting closer and closer. And during this time while we're watching this, a few things happen. One, my character, Flex Officer Lieutenant Hawking, starts vomiting. And that's because he has a serious concussion. Because last time, my character did the Klingon headbutt thing on 2 goats and knocked them out. However, I do not actually have a bony skull, and so I got a serious concussion from that. And so I start vomiting, and we're trying to be quiet, so I had to make a check, and I successfully vomited quietly. But Dr. Yoon starts trying to heal me. Meanwhile, we're hiding, and Anpele really wants those shoes. So she instructs the spheres that are just milling about the room, that are our spheres, that are like acting nonchalant, to go collect the thing. So they go in there and smash the display case and knock over the waxwork statue and pull its shoes off and bring it over. And Flint Daniels, meanwhile, wants to leave a false trail at one of the 2 doors. Because that's right, we couldn't move past this room because the doors out of it were locked. One was going to the yellow bay we wanted to go to, and they weren't just locked; they were locked. So the spheres couldn't open them. But he wanted to give a false trail at the gray door, and so he takes his dancing costume, he takes his clothes that he's still wearing. And one thing we forgot to mention from last time is while we were going through the tunnels, we passed by this huge slug-like alien that smelled like cinnamon. And so we had to squish past this guy, and we all got completely saturated with this cinnamon slime. And we actually had an interesting discussion with this guy and befriended him. But now a lot of us are covered in this cinnamon slime. So Flint Daniels takes his cinnamon slime encrusted clothes and drags them over, makes a trail, and slops them by the gray door to try to leave a false trail. But he doesn't have any clothes left, so he takes the remainder of his neon yellow dancing sack, rips them up, and fashions a makeshift loincloth. So now he's only wearing a makeshift neon yellow loincloth, and of course he's rippling muscles. And this is all happening while we're watching the footage of them getting closer and closer. And we see them, finally the footage of them in the room that we passed by with like all the information. And the guards are like, yeah, we've secured this room. Oh, good thing. Looks like they didn't come in here or find anything out. And that's the point where everyone in the group's like, we have to go back there and find out what we could have found out. But they're coming.
Yeah, and they're like super scary looking, like cyber warrior type things and armor. And so we stay hiding inside the giant chute, and the guys come into the room, and they sort of fan out and explore the room a bit, and then they move on through the doors that had been super locked. They unlocked them and opened them, and moved on. And so now we're trying to decide, okay, they've opened up those doors. So we could go through the yellow door and try and get to the ship that supposedly is waiting for us with what's-his-face, Gorbash? Gorban.
But then we wouldn't find out what was going on.
And also we'd be basically following the guys that are trying to capture us and look super scary. Whereas if we turn around and head back, maybe they won't have any guards behind them because, standard trope, wait till they pass and then you can go back.
The other thing is we saw on the sphere feeds, we saw them go invisible. So now we know they can go invisible, which complicates things because we don't know.
But we rig up a primitive echolocation device to determine whether there are invisible things about. It's not high resolution, but it'll give us warning if there's cloaked guys around. So, party decides to head back to that room with the computers. So we start heading back. We didn't get very far, did we? I'm trying to remember when they sprung that trap on us.
We successfully snuck back. We actually got all the way to the door, but there were 4 guards guarding the door to that computer room. And they pulled their weapons, I think, and said, "You're under arrest. Come with us." And of course, we all pulled our weapons. And there was a question of whether we were just going to open fire on them, but no, they were just basically trying to arrest us, right? So we kind of parlayed. But they wanted to take us for trial from under the Suseran. Apparently these guys are not the Suseran, they're just the Suseran guards. Yeah. They're not actually the Suseran that you captured.
But they had a bunch of charges that they said to us that, you're under arrest for blah blah blah. Some were legit, I must admit. There were a few things we did that...
only one was legit, but yes.
From an outside perspective, I could understand that being seen as potentially a law-breaking activity that we did. But some of them were weirdly trumped up or false or whatever. It was
so the first one was shooting the spheres in the room, which we did do.
We totally did, yeah.
The other was attacking and killing the guys who were just playing a practical joke on Liko, the ones who were trying to capture him or whatever. And then we were also accused of murdering Liko's family. Yeah. So someone was trying to frame us. And we don't trust the Suseran. So we don't trust this trial that we're going to go to. Yeah. So after some discussion, we just kind of all look at each other and bolt from the guards who are trying to arrest us because the trial doesn't seem like a good option for us.
So we're running back down the hallway towards the room with giant legs again. And we get to that room, and that's when they spring their trap. A bunch of the guards decloak in the room to attack us. Take us into custody. And so now we're having a shootout with the police. Combat ensues, and Robin puts down some of his own cards, and then she puts down the combat cards for these guys. And it's absolutely insane. The numbers were just astronomical. There was literally no way we could possibly beat these guys. Turns out that was somewhat of a mistake with the software that was used to set up those cards. They had 3 times what they were supposed to have in terms of shielding and hit points and stuff like that.
But they were still hard.
Yeah, so we dialed them down a bit to actually potentially maybe doable level. And then our goal really wasn't to defeat them. We just wanted to run through the room, and they didn't have anything that was like, block people from passing type abilities.
Initially we tried to defeat them, but then it became clear our only hope is to run or surrender. And they offered us surrender a few times.
Yeah. Well, I was already going to run the whole time, but I wasn't getting any movement cards. I was only getting attack cards. So
we got some of them, but yeah.
Yeah. We did run down a couple of them.
But then we were getting really desperate.
Yeah.
Because Pill got taken down, and the rest of us were on the cusp of being taken down. So that's when I did my desperation move. I have the special two-fisted punch attack, which eliminates the character's shielding for one round. And so one of the characters was, I forget what she was called, like a Madge something, but
Magneto something or other. She had magnetic fielding.
She was like completely stiff and like hovering around, and she was actually a Suseran. Which my character looked right at her because no one tells me not to look at someone. Anyway, she's the Suseran, so I don't know if this is gonna work, but it's this or utter failure. So I'll try it. So I took out her shielding because she didn't have a lot of hit points, but her shields were like through the roof. So I took out her shields. Everyone focused fired, and we took her down. And then we were like, "Look, we took down the Suseran," and the guards just got on the radio and they're like, they took down the Madge, but what should we do? And then we started thinking, maybe right. And then they were like, I know it's his daughter. What do we do? And we're like, So we immediately take her hostage.
So yes, we now have some high official's daughter hostage.
We are the good guys.
Yep.
After having a shootout with the police.
Yep.
We were framed.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
And also after vandalizing and stealing some artwork stuff.
Yeah.
Right. And brutally murdering the helper.
So our goal, one of our stated goals for this mission was to make a good impression. So I don't know that we're gonna achieve that one, but we take her hostage. And,
You made an impression.
She's unconscious, so we drag her out of the room while the guards are like discussing what to do, and we hoof it to the bay where Gorban is.
So Gorban shows up, and he's all, his usual excited self. I can't remember. We told him that we were being chased by the.
He knew.
Yeah.
Because he was worried we might steal his ship because he'd heard a bunch of bad things about what we did.
Yeah.
And he also realized we're like, can we still get a ride off with you? And he's like, well, if I help you guys out, then I'm kind of like, accessory to a crime. And what the heck? It's on the spot. Let's go.
So Gorban's a good guy. An idiot, but a good guy. So and he also starts enthusiastically telling us about how you're going to be so impressed when you come to my ship. I've had it completely redone to look exactly like your ship. Because humans are so awesome. I simulated every detail.
And we took out the super ultra drive and replaced it with the same kind of drive you guys have.
Yeah. We had to shut down the mega shields in order to divert energy to the So it's just like your ship. And so Ampele asked, "Did you emulate the screensaver?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, totally emulated the screensaver."
Fanboys.
Yep. So he's also put in the ship a sort of a smuggler chamber thing that he and Al are going to hide in.
We have to promise not to tell the humans that they're there because he wants to come with us on our adventures, but he doesn't want to be dissected.
Yeah. And I'm still sort of like, I don't know, taking along alien infiltrators. So I actually would rather like to see what they do with an alien infiltrator that they discover.
Yeah.
That would be very informative. Anyway,
he's going to let us escape in his ship. The Spheres want to come with us, and he's mentioned that he couldn't get battle bots, so the Spheres will be our battle bots. And
so Liko. Hill still has Liko clutched in his fist.
Right.
I've had him the whole time.
Actually, by this time he.
Oh no, that's right.
Because you went
unconscious. I went unconscious. My fist released. So anyway, he got free then.
Yeah.
So even though we never made it into that room, clearly Robin really wanted us to know the dark secret that we were supposed to have figured out, but somehow we had managed to avoid figuring out over the course of the entire adventure. So I can't remember, who was it that started like trickling out that little bits of
I think
information?
Flint Daniels started talking to Lego, trying to convince him to come and make him, and because let's be brave, and has anyone ever come back from being relocated? But Lico basically started trickling out that he knew that
the Suseran had saved his people because they were being hunted to extinction on their home planet because their fur is so incredibly soft and their flesh is so delicious. And so the Suseran had kindly relocated them here to this planet where they could eke out a meager existence in the caverns and serve them and occasionally disappear into relocation. Yes.
And that's the point where Robin pointed out that she had very carefully made sure that there were chicken wings for us all to eat both the last 2 sessions. So anyone who had eaten the chicken wings had eaten
Lico.
His species, the
Kiwabi.
Kiwabi.
Yep.
And that dress was probably made out of their fur.
I don't think so. Actually, I didn't see any fur on it.
But Flint Daniels tried to convince him like he should, come with them and try to make a better life and be brave, but he was sort of saying he's going to stay here and be brave. And anyway, Flint Daniels wanted to make him an honorary space ranger, and he was like not really interested. But finally, he looked up at him, and Flint Daniels looked so eager, and he was like, "All right," and takes the badge, and then when Flint Daniels continues looking at him eagerly, he pinned it on. So the cute little rat Mogwai thing is just humoring Flint Daniels now. But.
So we left Lico behind because he wanted to, see if he could find his family, etc. And we didn't help at all in that regard. We just shot our way out and fled. I guess if we'd gone into that room and got like some sort of ironclad evidence or something, and we could have
reported them to the Galactic Senate.
No, there's no Galactic Senate, but we do have access to a broadcasting system.
It's true. These guys are pricks.
Yeah, we could go to the GB network.
Well, and it isn't. I mean, I guess everyone there probably knows, but
that was my thought.
It is involved in what we decided to do to cover our escape. So we decided to get in the ship. We take off, but then we send back a broadcast that's basically like, I hope you've enjoyed our performance art of what humanity is all about. And then we send a video feed with commentary of our entire escapade, and also talking about how we're rescuing people from the evil clutches of the Suseran slavers. So we cast it all like it was just a big piece of performance art.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're obsessed with humans. Maybe we'll win the contest.
So never did figure out why they were obsessed with humans, right?
No, we never.
I think it was this year's theme.
Kay, ultimately.
What happened to the daughter?
In the big fight. No, Kay is the human that was the.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we eventually dumped the hostage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we didn't
we just sort of, tossed her aside.
And she didn't talk.
She was bad.
She was unconscious.
Yeah, she was actually badly wounded, so we healed her so that she would live. So that also leaves a good impression. We healed her up, and the doctor put like larger than necessary bandages all over her, so it was obvious that we healed her up.
Yeah, we left a good impression. We left the hostage alive.
Excuse your actions as performance art.
Yep.
And did you leave the human?
Yes, the quote-unquote human.
Okay,
we left her behind. In the fight in the room with the Suseran guards, she got hit by something or other. I can't remember. We tried giving her a gun, and she was like, "I can't take the gun." So we tossed her the gun, and it just passed right through her. It turns out she was like a hard light hologram that was specifically designed to not be able to fight or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
Presumably like a safety feature. She was an art exhibit.
Yeah. Can I run with you? Yes.
Yeah. So it would have been kind of cool to bring her along, because then I'd get to see what the humans do to alien infiltrators.
Right. Although
when they discover them, because I'd really like to know.
But
did she have a self-projection matrix, or was she being projected?
I don't know. We left her behind.
At some point, she got hit just by a stray shot in the battle. That would have been minor, but it caused her hologram to fizzle. So.
Yeah. And we hadn't really connected with her, so we're like, whatever. we have no responsibility for her. She's not our hostage. So yeah, we're lifting off at the end of the adventure. So next adventure is going to go straight into Space Alert. But it's going to be a couple weeks, because Tim's out of town for a little while. Yeah.
And now you have a proboscis monkey.
Well, a secret proboscis.
Yeah, and spheres?
And what?
And the spheres, which we are taking back, I guess, and asking that they don't dissect them. We can trust the Academy.
Or at least don't dissect the one that you copied. The cousins are probably.
I will be paying particular attention to that detail. Anyway, yeah, that's where things stand.
I don't know if they're going to stay on as our battle bots or what. I guess they might.
Medical officer's log. I have learned in this trip that we are not the best people that we could be. We are brash and shoot first, but I have also learned that we are not the worst people. Though now I need to go and wash my mouth out and never eat meat again.
Lieutenant Pill, personal log, encryption key 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have learned about the dangers of purposelessness. These humans, when they don't have any particular goal, go insane. And it makes me concerned about my own purposelessness currently. I need to find a new mission. I need to self-assign a mission. That may already be a sign of insanity, but yes, I'll have to do that, I think. I think I have to find a mission. Yes. I wonder what kiwabi tastes like.
On behalf of the Space Rangers, I present our entry to this year's exhibition. Flint Daniels, Space Ranger, and the escape from the galleries of murder. Tremble in awe at the sight of the only true humans in this exhibition. Laugh at their antics. Gasp at their exploits. Shudder at the revelation that the so-called enlightened suzerains are in fact purveyors of slavery and cannibalism. And above all, enjoy the show.
This is Liko. Oh, I'm so glad, so relieved that they're gone. Oh.
What a fiasco. Wow. Frankly, I mean, I know it's ugly, but I think we honestly should have stood trial. As it is, we just made things so much worse. I mean, yes, we left this planet, but, I mean, they're probably going to come after us or something. I don't know. I'm really concerned that terrible things are going to happen. And it's all our fault. I really feel for Liko and the rest of the Kiwabi. And knowing that I put the flesh of a dead, cute creature in my mouth and ingested even a small portion of it, I am deeply disturbed and just shaken to the core of my being, and that is utterly repugnant. And I think I need to look at the meat filter on my sensors so that this doesn't happen again. It wasn't supposed to, but yeah. This is the engineering officer's log, by the way. I didn't say that at the beginning, but you know. I'm a little distraught at the moment, if you can't tell. This was so bad. But let's go home and see what happens next.
Flex officer's log. Everything was looking bleak. My companions were ready to fall at the hands of the Suseran guards, but I alone, with my Washingtonian battle prowess, took aim, took them down, and with a single blow won the combat. That's why you bring a Washingtonian along on your missions.